Welcome back to the Deep Dive. I want to start today by asking you, the learner listening right now, to just kind of check your pulse.
Oh yeah, it is a stressful week.
Because if you've logged into a creator dashboard or a Discord server or even just scrolled through X in the last 48 hours, you know that the heartbeat of the internet is, well, it's erratic right now.
Erratic is a very polite way of saying it's in full-blown cardiac arrest.
It really feels that way. I mean, we are staring at screens filled with what people are already calling the red arrow of death. And we aren't just talking about a slight dip in views or a bad month for ad revenue. We are talking about the digital equivalent of a nuclear strike. The AI purge of February 2026 isn't a theory anymore. It is here. It is happening right now.
And the scale is what is impossible to ignore. In previous years, we saw cleanups, right? We saw spam filters catching the obvious junk. But this is an extinction event for a very specific species of creator.
Exactly. Let's look at the casualty list, because the numbers we have in our source material are frankly hard to comprehend. We are looking at Cuentos Fascinantes, nearly 6 million subscribers. Imperio de Jesus, almost another 6 million subscribers. These weren't small, fly-by-night spam bots. These were media empires.
Empires built on sand, as it turns out.
But that's the question, isn't it? Why sand? And why now? Because to the average viewer, Cuentos Fascinantes looked like a massive success story. They were printing money, presumably. And then, snap, February 23rd comes around and they're vaporized. Gone. URL not found.
Just completely wiped off the map.
Right, and there are lists floating around of other massive channels, ones with over 2 million subs like Heroes to Fantasia and Super Cat League, that are reportedly on the chopping block next. It feels like a disaster movie.
It does feel subtle to the outside observer, I agree. But if you look at the documents we have in front of us, the policy shifts from late 2024, the inauthentic content updates from July 2025, this wasn't a sudden disaster. This was a scheduled demolition.
A scheduled demolition. That is a terrifying phrase if you are living in the building.
It is, but we have to look at why the building was condemned. And really, this deep dive is about understanding that demolition order. We need to dissect the new rules of engagement for 2026. This isn't just about bans. It's about the fundamental rewriting of the contract between the platform and the creator.
And we aren't just talking about, don't spam. We need to understand the new definitions. What does inauthentic actually mean legally and algorithmically? Because honestly, it doesn't mean what I thought it meant. We need to talk about the biometric security state that YouTube is building, which is frankly straight out of a sci-fi novel.
And perhaps most importantly for the survivors listening to this, we need to talk about what is still standing. Because while the forest is burning, there are specific trees that are fireproof.
Exactly. If you are a creator, a marketer, or just someone addicted to the algorithm, the game has changed. The currency isn't clicks anymore. It's something much harder to fake. So let's unpack this. We have to start with a catalyst. YouTube CEO Neil Mohan dropped his 2026 letter. It was basically a declaration of war. He used a term that I think is going to define this year: AI Slop.
AI Slop. It's a visceral term, isn't it?
It sounds gross. It sounds like something you'd find in a trough.
It's meant to sound gross. When Mohan talks about AI Slop, and when we look at the analysis from sources like MilX and Cybrid, they are defining a specific type of content. This isn't just content made with AI. It is mass-produced, low-quality content created solely for views with zero human value added.
So I want to pause here and make a distinction, because I think a lot of listeners, and honestly myself included, get a spike of anxiety when we hear AI purge. I use ChatGPT to help me write video titles. I use AI to help clean up my audio. Am I going to get banned? Are the robot police coming for me?
No, absolutely not. And that is a huge misconception we need to clear up immediately. YouTube is not banning AI. In fact, in that same letter and in their blog post, they are bragging about how millions of channels are using their AI tools. Things like Autodub and DreamScreen. They want you to use AI.
Okay, so they want us to use their AI or use AI as a tool, but they don't want the robot to be the creator.
Precisely. It is the difference between AI assistance and AI automation. The channels that got nuked, like Cuentos Fascinantes, were likely operating on a model of pure automation. We are talking about finding a trending topic, having an AI write a script, having an AI voice read it, having an AI slap together stock footage or weirdly generated images, and uploading it without a human ever really looking at it or thinking about it.
And doing that 20 times a day.
Exactly. That is the key. The volume is the tell. And this links back to a critical policy shift that happened quietly in July 2025. YouTube renamed their repetitious content policy to inauthentic content.
I want to drill down on this word inauthentic, because words matter, especially when they are written in the terms of service. In July 2025, YouTube quietly scrubbed the phrase repetitious content and replaced it with inauthentic content. Why? What is the functional difference between being repetitive and being inauthentic?
It is a shift from judging the output to judging the intent. Repetitious implies that the video is annoying. Maybe you read the same text twice. But inauthentic implies a deception.
Deception of who?
The viewer and the system. Think about the Cuentos Fascinantes model. How many videos were they uploading?
I think the report said something like 10 to 20 a day.
10 to 20 videos a day. Now, is it physically possible for a human being to research, script, record, edit, and polish 20 high-quality narratives in 24 hours?
Maybe, if you have a massive team of 50 people.
Yeah.
But one guy in a basement? No way.
Right, so the volume itself becomes the tell. The algorithm looks at the upload frequency, and then it looks at the structure. It sees a template. It sees that video A and video B have the exact same pacing, the exact same stock footage transition at the 30-second mark, the exact same robotic cadence in the voiceover.
So it's not even listening to the words, it is looking at the fingerprint of the file.
Precisely. It sees a factory line. And YouTube's stance in 2026 is that they are not a factory. They are a stage. If you are running a factory, you are in the wrong business.
But play devil's advocate for a second. If the information is true, let's say I'm using AI to generate 20 news updates a day, and the news is accurate. Why is that inauthentic? It's factual. Why does the human struggle matter to the algorithm?
Because of the true crime case files example. Do you remember that one from the source documents?
The channel with 83,000 subscribers.
That's the one. They weren't just automating news, they were automating murder stories. They had an AI scrape the web, stitch together details from different cases, and narrate them with a hyper-realistic voice.
And that is where the truth gets murky.
It gets dangerous. Because the AI doesn't understand truth, it understands probability, it predicts the next word, so it might combine a victim from 1990 with a killer from 2024 because they fit the narrative arc.
That is chilling. So you have a robot accusing real people of crimes they didn't commit just to fill a content slot.
That is AI Slop in its purest form. It looks like a documentary, it sounds like a documentary, but there is no soul, and more importantly, no accountability. That is what inauthentic means. It means there is no human standing behind the claim, verifying that it is real.
It creates this uncanny valley of content. It looks like a video, it sounds like a video, but there's no there.
And that is the metric YouTube is trying to measure now, the human-in-the-loop requirement. The rule of thumb they are applying is essentially a Turing test for creativity. If a viewer watches 3 of your videos, can they tell them apart? Or is it just the same template with different keywords inserted? If it is the latter, ads won't run, period.
So the days of the lazy gold rush are over. You know those gurus who were selling courses on how to run a faceless YouTube channel with zero work?
Those business models are dead. And I do not say that lightly. If your business model relied on zero human input, it is dead in 2026.
Good riddance, honestly. But this brings up a huge question about privacy on identity. Because if YouTube is cracking down on fake content, they have to know what real content is. And this gets into the new tools they are rolling out, specifically around biometrics.
This is the flip side of the coin. To fight the bots, you have to verify the humans.
And this brings us to the tools. Because you can't just ban the bad guys, you have to protect the good guys. And this is where things get a little bit dystopian, if I'm being honest. We need to talk about the biometric shield.
It sounds like something out of Minority Report, doesn't it?
It really does. We saw the reports from vidIQ breaking down this new likeness detection feature.
Oh.
Walk me through this. How does YouTube know that I am me?
Well, to get the shield, you have to give them the sword. You have to verify your identity.
You mean like upload a driver's license?
More than that. You are uploading a biometric map of your face and your voice. You do a selfie video, you submit your photo ID, and their system creates a unique digital signature of your facial geometry and your vocal cords.
Okay, so I am voluntarily putting my face into a massive corporate database. That makes me nervous. I mean, we have all read the stories about data breaches. Why would I ever do that?
It should make you nervous, but look at the alternative. Remember the Mr. Beast scam from a couple of years ago?
The TikTok one.
Yeah.
The one where he was like, I'm selling iPhones for $2.
Exactly. It looked exactly like him. It sounded exactly like him. And it scammed thousands of kids before it was taken down. Why? Because the moderation team had to manually look at it and say, wait, Jimmy probably isn't selling iPhones for $2.
Which is way too slow.
In 2026, that is impossibly slow. With likeness detection, the moment that video is uploaded, the system scans it. It compares the face in the video to the Jimmy Donaldson biometric hash, if it matches the face, but the upload is coming from a suspicious account in a different country.
Red alert.
The system flags it instantly. And here's the cool part. It doesn't just auto-ban. It pings the real creator. You get a notification on your phone saying, hey, we found a video using your face. Did you authorize this?
I'll become the police of my own identity.
You become the owner of your identity. You can hit archive if it is a fan edit you like, or you can hit takedown if it is a privacy violation or a scam, or you can submit a copyright complaint.
It turns your face into a copyrighted asset, like a Disney movie or a Taylor Swift song.
Exactly. Content ID for biology. And while it feels intrusive to upload that data for a professional creator, it is becoming the only way to protect your brand from being hijacked by AI clones. The No Fakes Act legislation that YouTube's supporting is entirely built around this concept.
I see the logic. But what happens when the machine gets it wrong? Because these tools are probabilistic, right? They aren't 100% perfect.
That is the catch. It sometimes flags the creator's own uploads as deepfakes. Maybe you used a different camera, maybe the lighting was weird, maybe you had a cold and your voice sounded different. The system goes, hey, this doesn't match the hash.
That sounds incredibly frustrating.
It is. But that is why the notification system exists. It is not an auto strike, it is a flag for review. But it does show that we are moving from a video library to a digital identity vault. Your channel isn't just your videos anymore, it is your verified digital personhood.
This whole conversation about reality ties into another feature that I've seen popping up in YouTube Studio. The Altered Content Disclosure Mandate. Have you seen the new checkbox?
The little box of truth? Does this content contain altered or synthetic media?
It feels like a trap. If I check it, does the algorithm punish me? If I don't check it, do I get banned?
It is mandatory now, and the consequence for lying is severe. If you use AI to make a synthetic voice, or if you create an event that didn't happen, like a video of a politician saying something they didn't say, and you don't check that box, you risk content removal or complete channel termination.
But again, nuance is key here.
Yeah.
If I use a beauty filter to smooth out my skin, do I have to check the box? Because let's be honest, half the platform uses those.
No.
If I use AI to color grade my footage to make the sunset look better.
No.
If I use AI to help me write the script.
No. The standard is, are you misleading the viewer regarding reality? Beauty filters are accepted as a stylistic choice. Everyone knows skin has texture, but we accept the smoothing. A deepfake of the president declaring war is misleading reality.
Got it. So if I am creating a fantasy world or doing an animation, that is different. But if I am presenting news or a vlog and I fake something meaningful, I have to disclose it.
Exactly. It is about the viewer's expectation of truth.
Okay, so we've got the purge of the bots, we have got the verification of the humans. Now let's pivot to the thing everyone cares about, the money. Because I am hearing a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth in the forums. People are saying monetization is broken. Is it breaking, or is it just harder?
It's not broken, it's gated. The standard requirements are the same. You still need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, or 10 million shorts views. But the bouncers at the club have stopped just checking tickets. They are now patting everyone down and checking the guest list twice.
And the biggest change is this ad suitability review. I was reading about this, and it sounds like a nightmare for news channels.
It is a massive friction point. In the old days, like 2024, you uploaded a video, flip the monetization switch, and boom, green dollar sign.
Instant gratification.
Now, for many channels, especially newer ones or ones that have been flagged for borderline content, there is a mandatory holding period, up to 24 hours.
24 hours. In the internet age, 24 hours is an eternity. If I'm trying to cover a breaking news story or a tech launch that happened this morning,
By the time your ads turn on, the story is old news.
Yeah.
You miss the initial spike.
so why? Why punish creators like that?
Think about it from the advertiser's perspective. Coca-Cola does not want their pre-roll ad playing in front of a deepfake video of the president declaring war, or a video generated by AI Slop that is just spouting nonsense.
Right. Brand safety.
They need that 24-hour buffer to let the advanced AI and sometimes human moderators watch the content. They are checking for inauthentic signals, they are checking for deepfakes, they are ensuring the video isn't just slop.
So the lazy newsjacking strategy is dead. You can't just see a trend on Twitter, have ChatGPT write a script, and upload it in 10 minutes and expect to get paid.
That business model is gone. If you want to survive in news or trending topics, you have to build enough trust with the platform that they whitelist you, or you have to accept that you won't make ad revenue on day one.
That is a tough pill to swallow. I was reading through the guides for Indian creators specifically because that market is huge and often sets the trend for these global policy enforcements. There were some really specific reasons why channels are getting rejected now during this manual review process.
Yes, the Indian Creator Guide context is very revealing for the global market. The number one killer is reused content.
But people love reaction videos. Are reaction videos dead?
Reaction videos are fine if they are transformative, but what they're cracking down on are channels that just upload Bollywood clips, cricket highlights, or those song lyrics
Well, the
videos.
lyric videos where it is just this song playing with text on a screen. I used to see those all the time.
Those are auto-rejected now, unless there is heavy transformative commentary like you pausing the song to analyze the lyrics or the music theory. It is considered inauthentic or reused. The platform is saying, we already have the official music video. We don't need your version with Arial font over a black background.
And what about the lazy faceless trap? I feel like we need to hammer this home because I still see ads on Instagram for how to make millions with faceless YouTube.
Static image slideshows with scrolling text, you know the ones. Top 10 facts about Mars, and it is just a Ken Burns effect on photos with a robot voice.
Dead.
Dead. Explicitly defined as inauthentic. If you want to do a faceless channel in 2026, it has to be high effort. Custom animation, great editing, a real human voice, or a very high-end AI voice that is scripted with actual personality.
And what about engagement fraud? Because I know that used to be a big issue.
Still a huge issue and an instant killer. Sudden spikes in subs from sub-for-sub schemes or bot farms lead to immediate rejection during manual review. The reviewers look at your analytics, and if they see a straight vertical line of subscribers from unknown sources, you are done.
It seems like the common thread here is effort. If it looks easy, it is probably banned.
That is a great heuristic. If you can automate it entirely, YouTube doesn't want to pay for it.
Let's talk about the financial reality, specifically the shorts versus long-form dilemma. Because for a while, shorts felt like the cheat code. Just upload 60 seconds of chaos and go viral. Is that still the case?
It is the classic volume versus value dilemma. Shorts have incredible viral potential. You can get 10 million views much faster on shorts than long form, but the monetization requirement is 10 million views in 90 days.
Let's do the math on that. That is roughly 110,000 views every single day.
Every single day, without a break. That is a grind. And the CPM, the cost per mil, or how much you get paid per 1,000 views, is much lower on shorts.
Whereas long form,
Long form is slower growth. It is harder to get those 4,000 watch hours initially, but the CPM is significantly higher, and more importantly, retention builds community. A viewer who watches a 20-minute video connects with you. A viewer who swipes past your 15-second short might not even remember your channel name.
so if you were looking for a quick hit, shorts. If you're looking to build a resilient business, long form.
Or a hybrid. But don't rely on shorts for your mortgage unless you are doing massive numbers. And speaking of mortgages, the logistics of getting paid have gotten stricter too. The AdSense verification is intense.
Right, like the PAN cards in India.
Exactly. Strict identity and tax info verification globally. And it is one AdSense account per person. No exceptions. You can't just spin up 10 shell accounts anymore.
Okay, so we have talked about what is dead. We have talked about the don'ts. Let's pivot to section 4. Let's talk about the do's, what actually works. We have a list from Outlier Kit of the top niches for 2026.
This is the fun part. Because despite all the doom and gloom about the purge, this is actually a golden era for what we call smart automation and high-value niches.
Smart automation, I like that term. It came from the Millex and Outlier
Yeah.
Kit sources, right? Define it for us. How is that different from slop?
So AI Slop is letting the AI do the thinking. Smart automation is letting the AI do the heavy lifting, but the human does the thinking.
Okay, give me an example.
So you use AI to research the topic. You use AI to outline the script. You use AI to create a rough draft. But then you come in, you write the hook, you write the call to action, you polish the jokes, you make sure the soul of the video is human. You are the architect, the AI is the construction crew.
So the AI is the intern, you are the director.
Exactly. And the channels operating this way are absolutely crushing it.
Let's run down the list. Number 1 on the list from Outlier Kit, personal finance.
Always the king.
Why is it always number 1? I feel like finance is just kind of boring.
It might be boring to watch, but it is thrilling for the bank account. The advertisers are banks, fintech apps, and credit card companies. They have the most money. They pay huge premiums. We are talking $12 to $22 CPM, sometimes up to $50, because a single customer is worth thousands of dollars to them over a lifetime.
But you can't just fake this, right? I can't just have a robot reading Investopedia articles about stocks.
No. In 2026, with the inauthentic content rules, you need credentialed expertise or genuine transparency. You can't just have a robot voice. You need to show your portfolio or analyze real market data. The trust barrier is very high here.
Number 2 on the list, AI and tech tutorials. This feels very meta. Using AI to teach AI.
It is, but the demand is insatiable. Tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, Claude, they change every single week. People are overwhelmed. They need guides.
So the value here is being a filter. Here's what is new this week and how to use it.
Exactly. And because it is software, the CPM is also high, around $15 to $22. But the catch is it requires constant updating. You can't make an evergreen video about ChatGPT because it will be completely obsolete in a month.
That is the treadmill. You have to keep running. Okay, number 3, faceless storytelling. But wait, you just said faceless channels were dead.
Lazy faceless channels are dead.
Faceless storytelling done right is growing 21x year over year.
21x. That is insane. What does done right look like? It looks like high-quality narratives. True crime, history, revenge stories from Reddit, but acted out with custom animation. It is not robotic reading. It is sound design, pacing, tension. Think of channels like Kurskasak. They are technically faceless. You don't see the creator, but they are incredibly high effort.
So it is digital documentary making, essentially.
Yes. And because the retention is so high, people watch the whole story, the algorithm loves it.
Number 4, health and wellness.
Huge demand, especially with the aging population and Gen Z's massive interest in mental health. But there is a massive warning label here.
Medical misinformation.
Correct. YouTube has very strict policies on YMYL, your money or your life. If you are giving health advice, you better be accurate. If you are an AI spouting fake cures, you will be terminated faster than you can say apple cider vinegar.
Number 5 was educational explainers. High retention, setting the bar. But number 6 on the list was surprising to me. Ambient and sleep soundscapes.
The sleeper hit. Pun intended.
Seriously, though, low competition.
Low competition relative to gaming or vlogging. And the magic here is passive income in the truest sense. People put these videos on to sleep. That is 8 to 10 hours of watch time per viewer.
They are literally sleeping while you make money. That sounds like the absolute dream.
The algorithm sees that as 100% retention plus a loop. It is a signal of extreme satisfaction. But again, you can't just loop a 5-second rain clip for 10 hours. It has to be high-quality audio, maybe mixed with visual landscapes. But once it is up, it earns while you sleep.
I love that. Okay, and briefly on the short strategy, the niches are different there.
Very different. On Shorts, entertainment and pranks are 32% of views. Satisfying videos, soap cutting, hydraulic presses, before and after reveals, those dominate.
But the money isn't there.
The views are there, the money is less so. However, finance shorts have the highest CPM at $4.50. So if you can make quick, punchy finance tips, that is the sweet spot for shorts revenue, significantly higher than entertainment.
Okay, so we have got our niche. We are making smart content. But now we have to talk about the lawyers. Because Section 5 of our deep dive is the legal battleground. And things are getting messy.
It is a mess. And it mostly revolves around two things: summaries and copyright.
Let's start with the summary problem. We have sources like Robert Diab discussing the conflict between publishers like the New York Times or Condé Nast and AI companies like Perplexity and Google.
This is the legal gray area of the decade. AI companies argue that summarizing an article is fair use. They say it is transformative. It is like a VCR time-shifting a show.
And the publishers say,
no, you are stealing our traffic. If the AI gives the user the answer, they don't click on the article. It is a substitute, not a summary.
And as a creator, this affects you because
if you build a channel entirely on summarizing other people's work using AI, you are standing on quicksand. The courts haven't decided yet, but if they rule against the AI companies, those channels could be liable. If you are just digesting the New York Times through ChatGPT and wording it out, you might be infringing.
But the bigger risk for the average creator is the copyright on the AI output itself.
This is the hard truth that shocked me when I dug into the U.S. Copyright Office rulings. Purely AI-generated content cannot be copyrighted.
Wait, really? So if I prompt Midjourney to make a character and I build my whole channel around that character?
You don't own that character. Anyone can screenshot it, put it on a t-shirt, make their own cartoon with it, and you have zero legal recourse.
Wow. That fundamentally changes the value of your IP.
If the machine made it, it is public domain. Unless, and this is the key, there is significant human input.
So if I take that AI character into Photoshop, paint over it, change the lighting, add details,
Then you might own the changes, but the base image, probably not. It is a huge risk for anyone building a brand purely on AI assets. And there is also the risk that your AI tool was trained on copyrighted data. If your output is substantially similar to the training data, like in the George R.R. Martin case, you could theoretically be liable for infringement.
it sounds like the advice is to own as much of the source material as possible. Use your own face, your own voice, your own writing.
Always. That is your moat. That is the only thing the machine cannot take from you.
Let's zoom out. We have looked at the present chaos. Where's this all going? What is the vision for 2026 and beyond? Neil Mohan talked about YouTube as the new TV.
That is the roadmap. YouTube doesn't want to just be a website on your laptop. They want to be the dominant operating system of your living room.
We are seeing features that support this. Multiview for sports and news. Specialized plans.
Exactly. Watching 4 games at once. It is cable TV, but better. And creators are the new networks.
We have sources from Variety mentioning that creators are becoming studios. They are buying lots in Hollywood.
Yes, and look at the Miss Rachel example. She is getting Emmy nominations. The line between YouTuber and TV star is gone.
So for the listener, the goal shouldn't just be making videos. It should be building a media company.
Yes, and part of that media company is commerce. Frictionless commerce.
That is the phrase. Buying products recommended by creators without leaving the app.
Imagine you are watching a tech review, you click a button on the screen, and the camera is in your cart. No Amazon link in the description, no leaving the site.
That is powerful. And finally, for the parents listening or creators making content for kids, there is a new feature called Timer to Zero.
An industry first. Parents can now completely block shorts for their kids.
Thank goodness.
It is a recognition that the dopamine loop of shorts might not be healthy for developing brains, and it shows that YouTube is trying to position itself as the responsible platform.
It is all about trust. Trusting the content is real, trusting the platform is safe, trusting the creator isn't a bot.
Trust is the currency of 2026.
Let's synthesize this all. What does this mean for the learner listening to this? We have covered the purge, the privacy wars, the niches, the future.
The main takeaway is that 2026 is the year of authenticity verification. The era where you could hide behind an avatar, use a robot voice, copy-paste a script, and make $1 million. That is over. The lazy gold rush of AI automation is done.
But the smart creative era has begun.
Exactly. If you are willing to put in the work, to use AI as a superpowered assistant but keep your humanity at the center, there has never been a better time. The tools are incredible, the reach is global, but you have to bring the human.
I want to leave the listener with a final thought to mull over. We have talked a lot about algorithms optimizing for satisfaction and human connection over raw clicks. And we know AI can simulate a lot of things. It can simulate a voice, a face, even a writing style.
But it cannot simulate a lived experience.
Right. It hasn't had its heart broken. It hasn't tasted a bad cup of coffee. It hasn't felt the anxiety of a deadline.
Not yet, anyway.
So here's the provocative thought. If YouTube's algorithm is now optimizing for that human connection, and AI can simulate everything except genuine lived experience, will the most valuable asset in the future simply be proof of being a real person? Or will we eventually reach a point where the human element is just another filter we can toggle on and off?
That is a terrifying and fascinating question.
Something for you to think about the next time you are scrolling.
Thank you for diving deep with us.
Thanks for listening.